When I look in the mirror, there's a man that I see who's been searching a lifetime for a way to be free, never knowing the darkness that was following me like a mutating virus, one that I couldn't see. And I breathed you in, and I fell again. I can see the end. Here I am now, I transcend. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I was searching for answers, they were there all the time, but I just couldn't see them. In my heart I was blind. I believed in your story, now I know it wasn't true. And I see who I am now, and I know what to do. And I'm breathing in, and I'll start again. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. Just turn around and go. I can't do this anymore. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know that I let you go. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. I want you to know.
Hello, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to another special day, just as like always. Welcome back to all the old people, and or I should say the returning members, and welcome to the people that are joining us for the first time. I trust that you guys are having a beautiful morning, rising, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. We're super excited. Today's a special day. I'll say it's a resurrection. There's a death and then a rebirth. Oh man, this feeling, this feeling is amazing. I just got out of a divine focus and it's unexplainable. This feeling. I just want you guys to feel what I'm feeling. Woo! I got to do the Gilbert. Woo! Yes, that's Gilbert for you. I love you, bro. If you're on the call, welcome everyone. What's up, Powell? Alan, Barbara, Brent, Amy, Eric, John, Kim, Cola, Leandro. Welcome, family. Michael, Paul, Powell once again, Sherry and Sheila, Shelly, Stefan, then everyone on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Feel free. Yes, 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 yes. It's amazing what we're doing here at I Am Divinity. We are officially right around the corner on a big launch. And we're excited. We're excited to finally turn a new page. And not just turn a new page, we're writing a whole new book, and we're out with the old and we're in with the new. And we're really, really excited, elated to be here with you guys and to have all you beautiful people on this mission with us. If you don't know who I am, which by this time you probably should, I guess, or not. I barely know who I am at this point. Yeah, we're just evolving so quickly, is interesting because I just saw something a post the other day. It's like intuition is often misunderstood because it's way ahead of its time, and that's really how we're working now. We're not using the logic, we're not using reasoning to do any of these things, and that's why this has evolved so quickly. It's only been a month. Today's what, January 31st. I got to the Philippines January the 1st, didn't land in Davao City. Is it Davao or Davao? Davao. Potato, right? Uh, and now it's only been like less than a month, and so much has transpired, even from just last week. And so this is how we're going to be moving as a unit, as a company, as a community, where we're really being guided by our intuition and by our heart. And nothing can really stop us when we're operating from there, no matter what the people that are the ego is working through, because I still see the divinity in anyone, regardless of how you're showing up, whether you're threatening us or whatever. It's all good. We understand you're scared. All good. So yeah, it's interesting because like I had a buddy, right? It was someone I mentored for over 10 years. It was yesterday, I believe. He like reached out to me. He's like, man, like you need to reflect, bro. Like your ego's so big. Like he's like, you really you're unhealthy, man. Like you need to start looking at yourself. The way you come off is so. But he never thought to tell me that when I was addicted to weed when we were smoking together. He never thought that I had a problem then, right? It's like, okay, I understand where you're at, and it's okay. Like, and that's what's happening, with the people that literally label themselves as a victim. They literally made a group called Incomation Victims. Like, might as well just tattoo it on your forehead at this point, right? It's like that's where they're operating from, and we have to understand that's just what's happening. Whenever you start to step into your light, you're going to trigger people and you're going to trigger their shadows and all of their unhealed, whatever that's unhealed. So what's up, Paul from Greece? So yeah, I want to hear where you guys are coming from. um yeah, drop it in the chat. Where are you calling in from? Whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. It's interesting, right? Like when you're really stepping into your intuition, you don't really think about what you're saying or doing. You just kind of do it. Um, oh yeah, right. It's funny because Sweden in the house. Like whenever I first got here, I was like, I was like, Jamie, all right, we need to make some videos. Let's make a framework. We gotta get a framework. I don't know what I'm gonna say. And now it's just like, okay, bam, 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 like whatever comes through. Colorado Springs, Florida, Boise, Idaho. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for showing up consistently for yourself, first and foremost, and then also for the community, right? This is we're really excited that we finally have a community. I know Jamie has been wanting to build this for the longest. And the ego kind of took him on a little wild goose hunt with, he explains with like the whole like consciousness and currency and the, all that stuff, like the money and all that stuff. But I'm glad that we finally have like a solid community because yeah, I mean, I know for a fact that Jamie, he was doing it on his own. You know what I mean? And over a year ago, oh, Lisbon in the house. Nice. Portugal. We got Portugal on the map. Cool. But yeah, like I know for a fact that if I had a community over a year ago, I would have never given up my divinity, right? Like that would have never happened. And so you guys are extremely blessed that you're around all of these people that are remembering, right? It's no personal development here. We're not about to like just regurgitate all of the same quotes over and over and over again, pretending like we actually know what we're talking about while life is in shambles and we have horrible relationships and we can't sleep at night like because we scammed someone. It's interesting. Seattle in the house, awesome. Yeah, so speaking of scams, someone I saw someone post something about Jamie. Is like, look at Jamie. They posted a status about Jamie from 2019. Okay, he was talking about, oh, you need to chase the money and all this stuff, and he goes, what did you say? Something along the lines of like, yeah, that's whenever money was my god, and he had like a money addiction and so on and so forth. I was there too, right? Literally, um, just building because I wanted that paycheck. I mean, I never went to the extent to where I actually like knew it was a legit scam and then like went through with it. But I was telling Jamie the story, and share you guys the story as well. I was in this company, it was like 2012, 2013. It was a company called Savion. Okay. It was in the financial space. It's kind of interesting. I won't go into like what all they did, but we had built up a team of about 10,000 customers in about a year. And I was just getting this really bad feeling about the company. And my intuition was never wrong, even back then, before I even got into my divinity. And we had like a bunch of our leaders from Canada fly into Dallas, Texas. And if anyone's on Facebook and they were on my team, I would love to hear, just comment below. That'd be awesome if you remember that. It was an interesting run. But we had the founder fly in, right? And we had like the leaders asking him questions, right? Like, because we're like, okay, we need to figure out like what's going on. And they're asking him questions about payouts and even just about the service itself, right? And basically, like, instead of answering the question, I kid you not, he's like, if you guys ever are doubting the company, all you got to do is stay Savion strong, Savion strong, Savion strong. I'm like, what in the world just happened? I told my buddy Sean, I'm like, dude, like this is just retarded. Like, I don't know why we're still doing this. And so like I already knew from the get-go that wasn't gonna work out. And the reason why I shared that story is like I already know from a whole other level that what we're doing here is unlike anything that's ever been done in the industry because there's not another company on this planet in this universe that has what we have. And I don't say that lightly. Like there's not a single company or even person that has a process that helps you have a transformation, an instant transformation where in one moment, everything that you've ever dealt with is gone. Right. And not only that, like we obviously that is huge. That is the pie. We also have the best financial products in the industry. And so If you're excited as I'm excited, I want you to drop a 111 in the chat below, because we're going to completely shift you guys here, then our cities, then our states, then our countries, then the entire planet. And I'm really happy and glad that I'm finally here with my family. And I'm so glad that Mr. Jamie brought me and he invited me out here to the Philippines, because I don't know what I would have been doing if I wasn't doing this. So with that being said, I would love to bring up Mr. Jamie Divine up here so you guys can experience divinity through him. So get up here, brother.
Thanks, bud.
Sir.
Hello, everyone. Howell from Sweden. Always great to see you. Awesome, man. And Michael Harder, Eric Brent. Awesome. Well, yeah, it's it does feel like a resurrection. That sounds like that. Yeah, that nails it. Let me bring you into a little journey in my past so you understand, how we got here. So when I was 12, my mom gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Drop a 1 in the chat if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Classic. Make sure I can see the chat too, by the way. There it looks a little. Wow, lots of ones. Awesome. Yeah. So I read that book and I literally decided, because if you read it, he talked about his poor dad went to the highest level of the school system, and then his rich dad dropped out of school, became one of the richer guys in Hawaii. So it was a year later after reading that book that I got into sales. I started doing, because that's the other thing he says in the book. He says, if you want to get rich, you got to learn communication. So he was Robert, the author, was in the military. He flew fighter jets, and when he got back from that, his rich dad, told him to get a sales gig. So he went out for Xerox, the old fax machines, and he was at the bottom of the pit for a long time, and then worked his way up to number 1, and then started a Velcro wallet business and became a millionaire, and then lost it all, and he had and got it all back and all that. So a crazy journey. But for me, it was like, okay, got to get into sales. So the very next year I was in sales at 13, and 14 I was going pretty well full time. So I was like half-assing school at this point. And then at 16 I was already doing 6 figures after school at the sales gig. So I ended up just dropping out of school. I said, I'm just going to keep on this journey. And so by 18, I had a really substantial income. And that was 2008. So I lost it for a while, and then I moved to the US and I got it all back. And it was just this crazy roller coaster all the time. By 22, I was offered $1 million a year just in equity to build this alarm company, security sales. And I turned it down. I actually had started, so I was a year and a half in with them, and I walked away from. So I was 23, and that season I was on track to earn $300,000 in profit, not including the equity. And that's when they brought the equity on the table too, to convince me to stay, because I was now realizing, at a young age, because I started young, that no matter how much money I was making, I didn't have any sense of fulfillment. I felt really empty. And I noticed that no matter how much money I made, it just went to more booze and more weed and more partying to try to fill the insatiable void. And so I walked away from that company, didn't know what I was going to do. 6 months later, I still hadn't found it, and I was back like just completely broke. And here I am, like with all these skills, and the company reaching out all the time, trying to get me back and all that. And I had to just keep turning it down. And that was a huge pivotal moment for me. Talk about following your intuition, talk about following your heart, talk about making the most illogical decision financially of my life, like walking away from this career I had already built up, 10 years, and on track to, make all the millions. And so it was interesting being in that unknown, and I didn't have any tools to deal with it, right? That's hence the weed addiction got stronger, the alcohol addiction, all that. But then I found a company called Enagic. It was a water technology company. But the founder was this old Japanese guy, 70 plus years old, from this Okinawa island in Japan. And he had built this company over 40 years. And I was super excited about it because I always believed in good health. I saw the water was a good tool for that. And I found what I thought at the time would be like my purpose, to give me that fulfillment, that spiritual freedom I was searching for, because I had already been through the experience of money wasn't the answer. And I remember how working my way up at that company, I was a top leader in that company, and I had an interview with the director of the company. And it's still on YouTube to this day. You could look it up. My name at the time was Jamie Brock. So Jamie Brock, 6A Enagic, I think it was. Anyway, in that interview, I explained to him that I wasn't there for the money. I had actually walked away from all of the money, and I was searching for, the spiritual side of it. And he told me in that interview, he said, I've interviewed all the top people in the company, and you are the very first one to tell me that you came to the company for the spiritual side. And I had started noticing that all the leaders in the company that I was, were my mentors at the time, were really just in it for the money. And that was a huge disconnect for me. And so here I was now floating in this void again of like, this wasn't it. I thought this would be my purpose, to give me that fulfillment, and it didn't do it. And so I was still, smoking the weed every day and all that, just to cope with that emptiness. And then I remember going to Don's house at the time. So this is years before I had done his program, because his program was tens of thousands of dollars just to be in a group. And anyway, I had the opportunity to meet Don at his house because I knew a gentleman that was working with going through his program at the time. And the very first meeting I had with Don, or not meeting, but I ran into him in the kitchen. So the first conversation we had, I noticed that he had one of those Enagic water machines. And I got excited. I said, "Oh, Don, like that's my business. That's what I do, like that's my mission." And Don looks at me. It's the first, and Don just tends to know exactly what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. And he looks at me, he goes, "Yeah, you're a lot better than that." I'm like, "What? Who is this guy? You don't even know me." But at the same time, it hit me deep where I was like, "Fuck, he's right. He's right. I am better than this, but what is better out there?" There was just this sea of unknown. I had no idea. And so I was back and forth then after trying to get to take Don's program. A guy had sponsored me to take it that was working with Don. And then the guy went AWOL, disconnected from Don, and didn't follow through on the sponsorship. And so I floated for a few more years, and I thought, you know what, maybe the traveling the world would give it to me. So then I learned all the financial programs, right? Forex, so that I could go totally online and just be anywhere in the world. And so I was working on those projects all over. I mean, I must have lived in almost 30 different countries for many months at a time. And again, like I had more time freedom now, and I was doing the travel thing, but now the travel was just an addiction that wasn't filling me either. And the drinking became even more pronounced because now it was like I was always on vacation. And I did that for, well, since I left Vancouver, which was 2015, all the way till 2020 when I met Don. And then Don and I traveled around for a few years, this last few years. But it wasn't until I actually took Don's program that I found this freedom I had been searching for my whole life through all the externals. And then even after Don's program, I got tricked out by the ego. So the ego has a really creative way. It actually uses your creativity against you. And as you go through this process, you realize how powerful you are and how infinite your creativity is. Well, imagine the ego using your infinite creativity against you. And so that's what the ego did to me. Don has an exercise we got to do every day, divine focus, to make sure we're sitting in that highest state, to hold and make that state of consciousness permanent. And the ego had tricked me to the point where it was, I did it every day for, must have been about a year and a half. And then it started coming in. Oh, it's definitely locked in now. Like, you don't need to do that exercise anymore. That's for the new people. So I stopped doing the divine focus. And then the next after that was, oh, Don, like, this consciousness currency. What about if we have both, and I'll work on the currency, you work on the consciousness. It was a great idea at the time. And then the ego used that against me to now I didn't have any time for my divinity. And that's right around the time that Incomation was launched. It was literally Incomation and money, number one, and divinity, number two, which soon became 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because the ego will use that. If you're putting any one thing above your divinity, whether it's your spouse, your child, money, doesn't matter, whatever it is, it's going to use that against you to the point where you wake up one day, where did my divinity go? Like, it has to be number one. So that was my biggest lesson over this last year. And I just honor everyone that's with us still, because those of you that are, it's like, I realized when we first got together in the Incomation community, it was like money was number one, and then the divinity was on like a bonus on the back end, right? It was like I started telling you guys about Dawn and how that's why you were noticing my energy was different, all that. I started sharing Dawn, and then I brought Dawn to our Incomation event in Miami and introduced him to the top affiliates and leaders, and he worked with them one-on-one, and then anyone that became an executive worked with Dawn one-on-one. But again, it was Incomation number one, money first, and divinity number two. And it was only a week and a half ago that I had decided, okay, like divinity has to be number one. And all of the intuitive, decisions, all the healthy decisions that have come out of that since then is amazing. And of course, that's why we're now I Am Divinity. And we told the community, like, hey, if you're not about the transformation, that's cool, but like we're all about it now, like that's our number one. It has to be. And I went through that process as well, like being in a relationship. I had a few different partners that I had attempted to be in a relationship with after Don's program. And ultimately by the fourth one, it was like, okay, divinity number one. Like I had to find a partner that was also on the same page, that was putting divinity number one, or else it was just a mess, So we came to that conclusion in the community, and already it's so awesome how naturally it's filtered out, that ego energy. And we definitely aren't here to drag anyone or convince anyone or coerce anyone or bribe anyone or manipulate anyone to get their divinity, because obviously that's not going to work out too well unless they are deciding to put the divinity number one. So as of, what time is it, boys?
It is
11:31. So 11:31 here, which means in 30 minutes, it's February 1st, which is the official launch of I Am Divinity, putting the divinity first, putting the transformation first. And then the best part is all of the healthy tools, like the financial stuff, we have in the background, but it's secondary and it's exclusive only to those that are, on the same page with us, which is so beautiful. I'd get Will to share, but he looks pretty busy and he'll probably tell me to screw off. Do you want to tell them about the okay, that's a no. Will was just telling me how the onboarding calls when we were in commission were like 0 to 10. What would you say stress level? 0 to 10. Like a 10 in commission. Stress level. Yeah, with information. 100. Okay, 100 out of a 10. So the onboarding calls for information were 100 stress level out of 10 for Will. And now, since we've been I Am Divinity, what's the onboarding? 0. He says 0 stress level. So that's a big shift. That's a big shift. And I can tell you from my own experience, the amount of stress that we carried in that program was just literally infinite. Like there was no end to it. And no matter how much we did and how kind and generous we were, 4 hours support calls that we did on the weekly, like it didn't matter. It was just all of this crazy negativity. And now, just by putting divinity number one, that negativity literally can't exist in this purity, in this zone. Like there's no drama and chaos when you're putting divinity number one. It is absolutely awesome. And so the healthy financial systems that we truly deserve, the institutional ones, those are exclusive just for the divinity community, which is super awesome. And the reason why we're not promoting them as much anymore is because, again, we don't want it to be like people are coming in for the money first and just pretending that they're into the divinity so they can get access to the money programs. Like that's not what we're about. So again, kudos to those of you that have made that decision, and saw that those unhealthy money programs weren't, going to do anything for you except for just repeat the cycle. And so you chose what was really actually valuable, which is the true freedom that I've been talking about for months now in the community. Some people didn't listen to that one, but that's okay. But you did. So I'm super honored to have all of us together and have this support system in this community that's been built on such a pure energy. It's such a relief. I feel so free now. It's amazing. And again, it was just the ego tricking me, and I was on that. Like personally, I was on that road with the ego to have that crash, and then I held on for as long as possible. But really amazing that all of you were with me on that journey, and then also came to the same conclusion as I did, which is that this priceless gift of an instant transformation to live in your divinity is the number one. I mean, what a powerful group. What a powerful group. Because before this community, before Dawn's process, we're talking like I could count on both hands how many people in the entire world were over 700 consciousness on the scale 0 to 1,000. Like there was I think Hawkins last time he checked it was 10 or 12. No, he said half a dozen over 600, right? Remember that? Yeah, it was half a dozen. So 6 over 600, not even 700. And that was years ago when Hawkins was around. He's passed. And the book he wrote, Power versus Force, it came out in was that early 2000s? It was a good probably 20 years ago. So we haven't measured what that level is, but just to give you an idea, even if, let's say 20 years ago, there was less than 10 people over 700 and nobody had a process for you to be able to get there, definitely not in an instant, and to make it permanent. You know, there was the odd sage or monk that did it for decades and found it himself, but for him to be able to gift you that process and condense decades of what he did into, you know, 1 second, you know, a 2-hour session like Don has done, it just didn't exist. Thank you, Betty. She said Power versus Force was 1995, published 1995. So yeah, that's I mean, I don't even read anymore these days. When you're in this state, it's really actually tough to read or consume any content, because it's like you're already connected to the infinite intelligence. It just waters it down if you're trying to get information from anywhere else. So I encourage you to stay in that divine focus as much as possible, and, you know, experience that for yourself. Tune into that infinite intelligence. But honored to have you guys on the call all the time. It's super cool. And I would I'd like to hear from some of you. If there's anyone that wants to put up their hand and just share a few words, maybe their experience since the transformation, or maybe a question, comment. Always love to hear from you guys. Pass me water. Paul says coming soon. Anyone want to share? If you do, just put up your hand there on Zoom. If not, I'll keep rolling. All good. It's better when we put people on the spot. Hey, they can't say no. Yeah. Call them out by name. Let's see the list. I just intuitively always feel like who to call on. You know the list there? Can you show? Hey boys, can you scroll the participants? What do we got? Sheila. I'd love to hear from Sheila. Sheila, are you there? Okay, Sheila's not with us. That's okay. Gilbert. Gilbert put up his hand. Attaboy. Come on, Gilbert. Let's hear where you're at, man. Congratulations on your epic transformation.
Oh yeah, bro. We're gonna set this world on fire,
hold on. Just hold on 1 sec. I got to turn the audio on here so I can hear you. I'm sure everyone else can though. I'll bring my telepathic skills next time.
Nice.
There he is. Okay. Awesome. I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Hey, I'm glad you guys see me and hear me. I appreciate it. I'm just grateful. There's so much going on. I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you. I have, I think 5 people already signed up in the past 5 days or 4 days or something like that. It's moving like fire. For the people that see it and the people that are running with it, that's cool. If you ever get a chance, you should check out the 3-part that I put on Facebook. I called out all my followers, like all of them, like to the point where I was just like, I'm just going to assume that the 2.9 thousand followers I have broke through all their healing, their trauma. They have no more addictions. you have no pain or trauma whatsoever. Like, bro, it got like speaking through me powerfully. So, and I call him out too. I'm like, and if you saw this video and you heard that I said that this process can help heal you, and you haven't shared it, like, shame on you for not believing you can't do it, but you could have shared it with somebody else who was courageous enough, willing enough, honest enough. You know what I mean? I said the whole process, bro. And I hope it shakes some people. I just did it this morning because God was speaking through me hard. And he's like, say it. And I was just like, it's kind of mean though. He's like, truth doesn't matter how you say the truth. The truth is the truth. No matter how it's said, just say it. And I'm just like, geez, okay, all righty then. And so, yeah, no, I let all my followers have it today. It's, yeah, like I've been patient, 13 days free. And then last day, so you best believe I was going to press everybody hard as I can. But I got a chance to finally talk to my mom. Haven't seen her in like about a month and a half from her accident. And then she told me that she had during that car accident she was in, she busted her hernia, like it ruptured. So yeah, so she's going through that. So she start the process last night. So
Awesome.
I'm just grateful. You know, my brother's going through a lot of trauma. Like he goes through a psychosis, and I found out it's just my dad's. He's repeating my dad's actions when we were children, and I sensed it, and I could sense it, but he wasn't home. So he's somewhere in the streets right now, and I just pray that he comes back home safe. And whenever he does, you know, regain his consciousness a bit, I'm hoping to go through the process with him too. I'm not mad at him. The place was a disarray, but my mom and I just went in there and cleaned the house, you know, with unconditional love. I told her that I loved her, you know, and all that stuff. And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for this process and you guys. And man, you're going to be stoked when you see your birthday present, bro. Like, yo, yeah, you're gonna be freaking stoked. So it's called Breakthrough. That's what it's called, the art piece. So they're all chingon, all right? That means badass in Mexican slang, by the way. But thank you so much. Like I said, I got a lot of presents yesterday. I got 2 peach trees that came in as a gift. I got fed by my neighbor because she's going through the process too. Like, all, bro, blessings upon blessings is all I can say. Is I'm truly grateful for y'all. And I'm just trying to stay in this light and stay as genuine and real and cool and just like y'all, you know, and keep shining bright, bro. That's you're leading the way for a lot of us. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all soon. I'm not sure when that is, but it'd be nice to have some kind of dates so I could prepare a little bit faster or, you know, get ready for it. But I do appreciate the beautiful opportunity. And man, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
Awesome,
But
buddy.
there's so much more, man. I'm sorry. There's just too much. So let's give somebody else. I think there's other hands up somewhere too in there, I think. But let's give somebody else an opportunity to speak their truth.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for the birthday present, and I'm excited for you to be here. You got to be here before the 7th. So I heard that it was a passport thing you needed to get, because on our end, we're ready. So you let us know how to do that.
I heard you guys need to send me like an itinerary first. I'm just waiting for that. I'm just waiting for the actual ticket so I can go and get it expedited. However that works.
If we book it, he can go get his passport. Okay, we'll do that. Awesome.
Okay, that's all I was waiting for, and then I can go purchase it. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you know how long they need? Like, we don't want to book it for, you know, tomorrow and then it's not. So.
Oh no. I don't know. I was thinking between maybe the dates from the 3rd to the 9th would be nice, because I do have people flying in on the 12th, and so yes, yeah, somewhere around those lines. So it gives me enough time. You know what I mean? So I'm not stressing, because I still have to like bubble wrap the crap out of these because they're super fragile and beautiful and heavy as shit. Okay, so like, yeah, I'm just trying to prep for you guys. That's it.
Okay, cool. So I'd say if we do the 5th or 6th so that you can be here for the 7th.
Yeah, whatever works for you guys. Thank
Yeah,
you.
awesome. Will, you got that?
All right. Thank
Both
you
is
for letting me
kicking in.
share.
Thank you, Gilbert. Yeah, keep shining bright, bud.
Likewise.
Awesome. Speaking of moms, I had a 2-hour call with my mom today. It had been, well, since, what was it? I want to say September-ish. Yeah, I flew her out here last summer, and she worked with Don, and it didn't end too well. It started amazing. She had her huge transformation, and then she did what I did in the past, which is like finding things wrong with Don so you don't have to follow his lead and you get to go do your own journey, which is exactly what the ego wants you to do. Um, and so she had been struggling with that for a few months, but I talked to her today and we nailed what the piece was because it was the same thing for me. So I saw it very clearly for her. So both me and mom lost our fathers early. So we both didn't grow up. So we both had an abandonment thing, and then we were both abused by our stepfathers. And so we had this protection thing, right? For me, it was the narcissist, which is like the ultimate layer of protection. It's like this brick wall, right? And so she was finding ways to protect herself, as well. And it was all around like for her this male energy authority figure, right? So she'd protect herself around these older authority figures, men. And so that's what got triggered in her process with Dawn, even though Dawn is like the most gentle, kind soul of all time and only there to help. It's like we both found something wrong with Dawn so that we could, run away and protect ourselves like we had always done. That was our toxic pattern. And so as she realized it, it's like, boom, back in her light. And it was interesting how it started. It was like we were just having a conversation, and then she was telling me how she was in and out of her light, but she kept saying protection, protection. Like I got to protect my energy around other dense energy, and going into a room, it depends who's in the room. I got to protect myself or not. And so I just kept hearing this protection thing, and so I lasered in with it. And at first, she wanted to get off the call. She was like, this is you're she was telling me I was being like that authoritative person. So she's wanting to run off the call and like, I'm sick of, I don't want to talk about this. I got to go to sleep, all this stuff. I was about halfway through our 2-hour conversation. So as soon as that came up for her, I was like, no, mom, this is what happened to me. And I shared, with the stepdad and how I protected myself around the older, mentor type figures. And that's when she softened and realized it. And then boom, back in her light. And we had the most amazing conversation for the second half, another hour. That funny enough, she wasn't tired at all, needed to go to sleep or anything. It's like we hammered it out. So that was really amazing. And then if you didn't hear, I think I shared it yesterday, but my brother, who had been back and forth canceling his trip, Jesse, he called me yesterday and he said that he's in. Like he's like, sorry for the indecisiveness. And just like Gilbert was saying, it was this truth, like I don't hold the truth back anymore, whether it's my mom, my brother, any of you. And before it was like, again, because divinity was number 2, I was putting the relationship number 1. So it was holding me back from actually sharing that very powerful truth. But now because divinity is number 1 in everything, now it's like I'm willing to risk even the relationship to help them with their divinity. And it's awesome when that works out. It's a little disappointing when they do the fight or flight, attack you and run. But I've seen many people come back around too, like Marty, for example, who's been on like 22 of our last 24 calls. It was a good 3 years that we didn't really talk. Josh Willamette also similar story. You know, he was all in with the divinity in 2020 when we were first starting with Don. And then both of us had found reasons wrong with Don, you know, to make him the antichrist and to get out of the process. And, you know, that's just the ego tricking us to stay in the ego. But it took Josh about 3 years to come back around. And we just had a really powerful call yesterday with our private, like, top leaders like Josh, or top executives. And already, like, it was within hours he was sending his updates, like, holy crap, like, just did he? Can I read it? Josh, do I have your permission to read your newest update on this stream? So yesterday he said, you know, holy crap, crypto just, and he's managing all the financial crypto fund and all that. And crypto spiked right after we had our session yesterday, which was the same thing that happened to him 3 years prior. He had never been over, I think it was 17 or 20,000 in his crypto portfolio, even though he had been doing it for a couple of years. And then Don worked with him on the Friday, and on the Monday, he just it spiked, and it just kept going from there. And over less than a year, he was over $1 million with that, whatever initial it was, 15 or 20,000. And then he had a crash because, you know, he had made Don the enemy, got out of the divinity, was putting money number one, and he had this big crash multiple times of people betraying and stealing the money and taking off with hundreds of thousands and all that stuff. But anyway, as of yesterday, he's been back in it. And then the second thing that happened was, so he scouts for these legitimate crypto projects to hold for the entire crypto bull run. And just yesterday, again, a couple hours after, he found his #1 project that he's ever came across. He's expecting 100x just from this one project. And it actually launched right as we were opening this call at 11 our time. And then he just sent this, what was this, just a few minutes ago? Whoa. So he says, well, talk about divine energy. The entire Solana blockchain went down at launch. No one could buy for the first hour. But guess what? Our order went through and we got in the first 10 minutes. The first 0.001% in at the launch. That's awesome. I just came in, what, a couple minutes ago? Yeah, less than 10 minutes ago. And he just sent another one right now. It hit 25% in the first 30 minutes. Now we go for 100x. That's awesome. So for those of you that want to join the crypto fund, it's $500 minimum, and Josh manages all that, and then it's a 50-50 split at the end. It's about he wants to do a 12-month minimum lockup to ride out the whole bull run. Anyway, so that's awesome news that just came in. Anyone else put their hand up here? Anyone else want to share? What about Vanessa? Vanessa McDonald. By the way, Vanessa, I saw you speak your truth inside the group. Really appreciated that. Not easy, takes a lot of courage. Is there anything you want to share on the call? Okay. Do you guys just love listening to me that much? Like, I want to hear from you. I get totally bored hearing myself. Her microphone doesn't work. Okay, all good, Vanessa. Thank you. Well, what else? What else do we have? That's awesome with Josh. So we'll do an onboarding call. We've been doing one every day after the streams, and Will help you with the technicals of whether you want to get in the membership and go through the divinity. So Gilbert, great example. We never even talked to him before he went through the transformation. He just used the recorded group event we did with Dawn that's inside the membership portal. And the first two things that I picked up from his transformation, if you didn't hear that yet, was number one, he had been in a 4-car pileup in 2015 and had crazy back pain all the way up until he did his process and doesn't have, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gilbert, but you haven't had any back pain since you did the process. And then the weed addiction, 19 years, if I remember correctly, that you had that, and that's completely gone away. How long has it been now? How long has it been since?
It's 13 days. So it was, to be exact, it was the 15 day of life. That was the specific video that I just saw. There was no other extra videos. There was none of that other extra stuff. It was just that video.
Wait, what? You only watched our live stream with Dawn?
The 15 one, yeah, the number 15. That's the one I learned it from. I'm an autodidact, so I love to learn. So I just pay attention, and I learn off of other people's mistakes.
Wow, dude. So you haven't done the full process in the membership?
What do you mean? Like, what else is there besides the 3 mainly, and then the ammunition for the ego? Was there something else? Like, I remember reading that little paper about not letting the ego try to get to you. I remember just those 2 scripts that you had, the process script, and then the other one that says if the ego tries to come after you for some reason. Like, it had a whole list of what to watch out for if the ego tried coming after you. That's probably where I did, and then I just did my research and just started learning more about Dawn. Started watching the YouTube videos, started liking all those things, and just started learning on my own with the rest of that stuff. But you guys have all the stuff on there. You guys have, with whatever you guys shared with me on those videos, that's all it took. You guys gave away all the secrets in there. Well, that's the secrets that helped me break through. So I'm grateful for that. If anything extras, please send it my way.
Sam's telling me he's pretty sure that you did go through the actual program, which is the questionnaire, and there's like an 1.5-hour group call with Dawn where we brought everyone through the process.
I don't recall that portion.
In the portal.
In the membership portal.
Yes, in the membership portal, there's like those 3 videos. You remember those 3?
Oh shoot, no, I have not. But I'll go ahead and check that out. But like, just the video alone was powerful enough for me. But I'll definitely look into those extra tools for sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure you did, because you asked me. You're like, "Hey, how do I log into this?"
I think I was about to finish signing up for it. Well, actually, I thought I went to the Transform Dawn. That I was filling out that questionnaire thingy, and then I was about to submit it, and then my phone has been glitching like crazy, so I didn't even follow through with that. I just continued to do the breath work.
That's way crazier if you didn't actually go through the official program and you've just been tuning into the streams. That's even more great. I love it. That's amazing. We got to make sure you do the actual.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. I didn't want to go off your guys' system or anything like that. But it didn't take much. It worked though.
Yeah, clearly. Was I right? All your pain went away and your addiction went away?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, that makes me feel a lot better about these streams. I mean, shit. We're doing something right. Damn.
Sure are, yo. Keep it up.
Wow.
Keep it up, guys.
Congrats, dude. That just shows you that when you're ready and open to the degree you were, I'm sure, being in all that pain, like I was, yeah, you don't need much. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. Sam just sent it right now. I'll go ahead and do all that stuff. Sorry about skipping a few steps, but I appreciate the process nonetheless.
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
You're good, dude. I'm excited to hear your experience from the actual process. Make sure you do the questionnaire first.
Will do. Sorry.
No, you're good. That's awesome. That's actually even more exciting to me. And then you'll be here in person for our February 7th live transformation with Don. That will just be totally next level. So I'm excited for you on that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I feel,
Don,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, I'm not sure if you've seen Dragon Ball Z, but I feel like a Super Saiyan already. So I don't know. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but it's a very strong being. There's like a cartoon back in the day, but they used to like power up and have auras and super. So that's what I feel like on a daily basis. Thank you for allowing me to feel that way.
Oh man, you're awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for you. Yeah, when I met Don, he was literally doing small groups like we'll be doing February 7th with you, and it was $125,000 a person. Like that's why I was yeah, that's why I wasn't able to do it when I first met him. It was I met him in 2015, and it wasn't until 2020 that I did the program. After just begging him and showing him how committed I was. But yeah, it's just what a blessing we're giving everyone now. It's just I'm just reflecting back on how it was before. He was only working with the elite, right? Like high level executives, billion-dollar corporations and professional athletes and all that. So to them, that was not that much money. But where he had his shift actually is when he lost his wife and his daughter 15 months apart to cancer, both of them. So that took him out, and then he decided to do an event just for stage 4 cancer patients. So he did that one for free, as long as they flew in from all over the world, all over the US and everything. And I think there was about 12 of them, and he worked with these stage 4 cancer patients. And I met one of them. His name was Harry, and it was crazy how his story is actually in our Facebook group from must have been about 2 years ago now, 3 years ago. And he lays it out in his testimony of how his cancer went into remission after working with Don, which is just absolutely insane. That just shows you how much freaking power we have, that we're even creating the cancer. And the reason that he lost his daughter and his wife was they had actually made the decision that they wanted to leave. So that was their way to do it. His daughter was in a very toxic marriage, and so she hid a few things from Don, some abuse that she wasn't totally honest about, and ultimately just decided it would be easier to pass than to confront her husband. And then his wife at the time had lost her son to a drug overdose a few years prior, so she wanted to be with him. So that was pretty intense for Don. But then for him to just change gears and decide to open it up for everyone, he did a free event for cancer. And then I met him shortly after that, and that's when I'm like, Don, like, we got to bring this to everyone. And I was in the network marketing world, so it was like they were all brand new entrepreneurs, not billion-dollar executives, billion-dollar companies. So it was like whatever we can, we got it down to about 10,000 each, and then if they were in the group, we did it at 5,000 each. And people are just having priceless breakthroughs. But now it's even crazier because we've been giving it for absolutely free to our whole community the last 6 months, and doing these daily live streams on just totally public, and just completely opened it up, which is definitely more my style. And Don's excited to be on this side of things now too, because ultimately the mission of raising humanity's consciousness as a whole to 700 requires a good sized group of us. So here we are on our way to making that happen. Can you mute Victoria? She also has her hand up. I don't know. Victoria, did you have something to say? You got your hand up.
Yes, I do.
There you
I have a question. So I'm kind of one of these people that have not been in the know and following everything on my emails. And so I'm getting on this now finally and realizing, oh, it sounds like today's the last day to get the free hour and a half, and I'm not sure where to go and how to do that.
go. Okay, well, better late than never, so welcome. And we do an onboarding call after this that Will can walk you through the technical steps to get you in there, okay?
Oh, okay.
So that will be, he'll drop the link in the chat. Can you just get some background noise, so we're going to mute you, but we'll have an onboarding call. What time is it?
It is 12:07.
Okay, so at the top of the hour here, we'll have the onboarding call, and Will put the link in the chat. So for those of you that need help getting access to the Divinity process, or if you want help with the Forex and crypto fund, he'll help you, walk you through the steps there. Okay. Anyone else have anything to share or any questions? Tiffany, welcome to the call. Great to see you. Thank you for sharing your truth in the groups as well, and that courage. I appreciate that. Is there anything you want to share on the call with us?
Yeah, actually. Can you hear me?
Awesome. It's a little quiet, but I'm going to turn it up. Okay, I think that's good. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so when I asked the question yesterday and when, Sam was on and the question was for Dawn, I tried talking, but I guess they couldn't hear me. It was weird. But yeah, this whole divine focus, I asked the question yesterday and I need to go back and listen to the response because I still feel really confused about it. When I do my divine focus, I can't find like that light that you guys are talking about to go to like get back to it. And so yeah, I have 3 kids, and Dawn says that experience when you had a baby, but I didn't experience that when I had a baby in any of my kids. I was so happy to have birthed them and be done with that part. And I was just like, oh, I don't even care. Like, take the kid away. I'm just, like I didn't have that like beautiful feeling. Anyway, and then so my first 2 babies were C-section, but my third one I had at home, like in a bathtub in my room. And I did hypnobirthing. And so I can maybe say that that was a little bit of that experience, but it wasn't that I felt like the light or anything. It was mostly that I just felt really proud of myself and like I was like connecting to something else, and it was like a pain-free birth and all of that. But it's not like the light that you guys are talking about. So anyway, yesterday it was just a really hard day for me, and I'm trying to, I guess food is my addiction, and I really was like craving the foods that I know that aren't good for my body. And so I kept trying to divine focus, but I couldn't like connect to this light or whatever. For at least, so it wasn't working for me. And anyway, I ended up just eating. Yeah, I guess that's what I am wanting to ask. And I'm just joining in, so I don't know what you guys have talked about. I slept in today. But yeah, I don't know. Is there any help, or
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that would be a really helpful question for a lot of people. So I'll share what I can on that. So first of all, yeah, Dawn talks that for many women, but not everyone, their very first child is like that experience of just wow, like did I do that? Like that supernatural feeling. But if you didn't experience that, that's okay. Doesn't make you wrong. For me, my best moment to recall for the divine focus was the moment that I had with Joanne says, I said, wow, what the fuck did I just do? Yeah, exactly. So for me, it was my first transformation with Dawn. So have you done the questionnaire, gone through the
Yes.
actual
Okay.
event? Okay.
Yeah. So that was the thing too. When I did the call with Don, he kept saying, refer to this like amazing thing that you've done in your life. And I couldn't come up with anything. And so I was kind of lost the whole time. I'm like, I can't figure out what that thing is. And then when
Yeah.
I think he was talking to James on that call,
Hmm.
and but the way that he was talking to James was like triggering me, because he was so like, what's the word, like aggressive or something. And I guess that's the wound that I have. The
Hmm.
same when like Sam was talking in the chat, that's what I was hearing from him, was that like tone. And so,
Hmm.
but I was trying to overcome that by still going to this like amazing thing, but I couldn't think about it. And so I definitely need to do it again, but I don't want to do it again and not be able to think of, something. And there was a lot of people actually on that chat who were like, I can't think of anything. What do I do if I can't think of anything? So I kind of felt like we were kind of left behind. And I've been wanting to ask this, especially before February 7th, because I want to do it again fully, like understanding and having that thing. And, you know,
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, the for me, the thinking is what the problem was. So it's just the ego keeping us in our intellect about it. Um, I I don't recall going to that when I did my process with Don. I don't recall even going to that highest moment. But what happened for me was when he brought us to like the worst moment, the trauma of that, and tracing back that feeling. Like that feeling was very familiar for me. That one was
mm-hmm.
easy to find, right? Like that one I've been living
Yeah.
in the whole time. So,
Yes.
so that's where my focus was on that, and then going all the way back, tracing that feeling, just the intensity of it, and then in that second where we popped the balloon of it,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yep.
where my high feeling came from, almost like I had cut the anchor to that low energy, and then just naturally I was in this high. So that's where it
Mm.
happened for me. And yeah, because I'm similar to you, like couldn't really recall any super high moments other than like drugs and near death experiences. Like that was
Yeah,
um
that's exactly what I was thinking too. Like I have plenty of those, but it's when, yeah, like, I have a new business and it works great. It's like all external. And I know
yes,
that that isn't, the
that's not
light
it. Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So so yeah,
Well, I know, well,
sorry, go ahead.
yesterday when Don was answering my question, just him like talking to me, I could feel myself wanting to cry. And so I
Oh,
know that there's stuff like that is ready. So
yeah.
I'll do, yeah, I'll go with that then and just be like, I guess I just need to probably surrender more.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. But, so the
That's
thing
what it
is
was
that
for me.
when I did my home birth and I did the hypnobirthing, I did that pop the balloon experience with all my negative thoughts about having, a birth after having C-sections. And so
Hmm.
I have already like experienced that. And I knew when he was saying put it all into the balloon, I knew what was about to happen. Um, and so I felt like, yeah, I just missed out because I already kind of knew and it wasn't this like big experience for me. But I didn't, like you're saying, I didn't take it as far as going, through those negative and like tracing it and all of that. So I'm excited to try that again I definitely won't give up because, and I don't know what Gilbert was saying, but something about just being on these calls, and I feel too like at first I was like, okay, this it's the same information, I can miss it or whatever. But now I'm like drawn to it. Like you guys are the only people who get this, you know? I go into even my family and they're amazing. I mean, I'm talking about my kids and my husband here, but especially like out into the world and I'm like, oh, I need to get back on the call because it just feels like, you know, like you guys understand, you know, we're the
Yeah.
aliens of the here.
Yes, fully understand that, Tiffany. I'm super glad you're with us. And there's nothing that you can do wrong. What I heard when you said that you were almost like you'd already kind of knew the balloon was coming, what I experienced a
Mhm.
couple times was first that surrender piece. So I noticed that because I knew that it was coming, I had this resistance build up, like so then I wasn't my ego wasn't surprised, sort of say,
Mhm.
to pop it all. It actually held on to some, and that's
Mm.
possibly what had happened. But again, just going through it again and being in the February 7th, you know, and just willing to surrender, you'll be able to get there for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, and I think I totally have it, but I want to do the divine focus with this light so that if there's anything happening, I can just like, I mean, like I hear all the and see all the things that people are saying about you. And I'm like, if that were to happen to me, I need a divine focus that will just like bring me out of it, you know? So yeah, I'm I'm glad to be here and to be learning and I'll eventually get it. Thanks you guys for all of your for everything.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Well, if you've ever and it is an external example. If you've ever done drugs before, you could create that
Yeah.
feeling. Or like I've mentioned a few times on the call, like for me, it's like this full body orgasm, you know. And I know that's an external use, so it's not like I use those examples in my divine focus. I do go to my highest state working with Dawn,
Hmm.
but just so you can get a sense of, you know, an analogy of what that feeling is. And I also noticed the more and more I did the divine focus, the more that started to come out. Like in the beginning days, I remember going 10 minutes and not feeling anything, and then minute 12, for example, all of a sudden there's this you know, shot of light.
Mm.
So yeah, and that I just wouldn't allow the ego to use those reasons to get you to not do it or get you to cut it short, like, oh, it's not working, all those. That's what the ego is going to try to use
Oh
to
yeah.
stop you.
No,
Yeah.
I do it like all day long. I've been doing I don't call it divine focus, but I've been doing it for a long, long time. Just like it's sitting in silence basically, you know. Um
Yeah.
So yeah, I still do it, but I'm just imagining this light that you guys are talking about, that's what I want.
You. Um, yeah, I don't know about you, but I did meditation a lot before I had worked with Dawn, and
Mhm.
for whatever reason, you know, and I would tune into Abraham Hicks, like I listened to that every day for it must have been 5 years, and I would do the
Mhm.
meditations of it and all that. And all I know is that when I came to Dawn, I still had all my toxic patterns. So there was
Yeah.
something different that you know, comparing like a meditation to the divine focus.
Yeah.
So there,
Well, and that's what it is. I want what that difference is, but I can't seem to
yeah.
find it yet. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get you there for sure. And Sam has
I
something
know.
to share with you.
Okay.
Hi, Tiffany. So
Hi.
I heard a couple of things as well, and I'll just share from my experience. And so I was kind of in the same boat with you, and it was very intellectual, and
Mhm.
did a lot of like the breath work, did a lot of meditation, and then I was taking it very literal whenever Dawn was like, put your, interlock your fingers and say the I am. So I was like constantly saying, I am, I am, I am, I am. And
Mhm.
Jamie said something to me where he was like, it's not about the I am, like saying the words, because especially if you're someone like yourself that is like a business owner and you very much has done the personal development, the spiritual development, saying
Mhm.
those words will actually kind of keep you more in the mind. And so focusing more on the energy. And so it may be that you just have to go through the process again because, like you said, the surrender piece is
Mhm.
huge. So you
Yeah,
may
I
not have
think you're
gone
right.
far back enough.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because yesterday I did the process once again. Like the first time I did it, it was at 3 months of age. And then yesterday, it was actually in my mother's womb. And then even like generationally, where I saw like my grandfather, I saw my great grandfather, and like today was just a completely different energy. And so I would suggest going through the process again. And like you said, like the
Okay.
surrender piece, that's huge. And yeah, that's probably just the key that you need. And then the divine focus, you'll be able to tap into that highest feeling that you feel like initially right after the process. That's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I don't recall on the when I went through the program with him the first time, I don't recall like really I wrote it all down. I did all of the questionnaire and I wrote, all of that. But I don't remember feeling so deeply into all the negative stuff. So
Mm,
I think that would definitely help if there's a contrast there of feeling all of that and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. I can see where that would probably work. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
yes, you're welcome. It sounds like it when you weren't able to recall the feeling he was talking about, you got a little stuck in the head, and then when it went to like going in deep into your pain, and again, the ego will use that to keep you in the head so you're not feeling that intense pain, right? Like we've all
Mhm.
done all these external things to run away from that pain. So it's
Yeah.
not the funnest process to like go deep into the stuff you've been avoiding for years unconsciously or not, but that is the
Yeah.
key for sure. You gotta
Well, I'm fine going into that stuff, but Don triggered me on how he was talking to James. I thought
yeah,
I had
that would have
such empathy for James, and I was feeling like so scared and sad because he was talking so roughly to him. I think that is actually what did it, was how he was talking to him. But then I saw at the end, I was like, that was all me. James had no, like, James needed that. Like, it really
yeah, he
worked,
loved it.
you know?
Yeah, he had a huge transformation.
Yeah. So, okay.
Well,
Thanks so much,
that
you
would
guys.
have yeah, you're welcome. That would have definitely created enough resistance for you to not follow Don's lead to finish the process
Yeah,
from the sounds. Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah. All right.
which
Excited
is
to do it again.
awesome.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've been intensely pissed off at Don at times myself. Actually, I was just sharing, I think you may have missed it, but that's what happened with my mother. I had a 2-hour call with her today, and she realized that she gave up following through on her transformation because she had this old wound like I did with authority, especially male figures in her life, like
Mhm.
the stepdad that abused us. And it's like she wasn't able to fully surrender to Dawn's process because she was getting triggered putting
Mm.
Dawn in that box, as the old. So the
Oh,
protection,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have to re-listen to the beginning of, yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah.
interesting.
And don't worry, he
Okay.
can't
Yeah.
hurt you through the Zoom.
Yeah.
uh, I've had a few in-persons with him when he like so he pops the balloon and then he'll like nail me on the top of the head. It's just like And a couple times, like I knew it was coming, and he would do it like on the forehead then, so I didn't expect like exactly where. And a couple times I was like, oh, I almost wanted to punch him up, punch him back.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for sharing, Tiffany. I trust that was really helpful for a lot. That yeah, we get hung up in whatever the resistance is. The ego will use it.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying. That was really helpful for me too.
You're welcome. I see a couple more hands. Where did Will go?
Will.
We got
Gilbert and one other. Let's see who's that person.
yeah, check that.
You do this. Do not know. Janet.
Oh, Janet. Okay, love to hear from Janet, and then we'll go to you, Gilbert.
Hi guys. So this is just my intellect coming in and listening to Sam's experience, how he went further into his process. So I only saw Don once. And so now I'm asking, do I need to see him more, or do I need to do the process again to go further to get it even a deeper, divinity?
Yeah, that's interesting. First of all, it never hurts, like it's definitely helpful. Do you need, well, when Nua flew in here and he said, I came for my divinity, I said, Nua, you didn't have to come this far for your divinity. So, so yes, that is the ego tricking you. Oh, well, can you, but I encourage you to be on the February 7th group with us. We'll be going through the process all together. We'll be doing it live here for my birthday, and then you can go through it again. And then we also have the recorded version in our membership. If you're not in there yet, you could go through it that way as well. So a bunch of different tools. And then I know you worked with Don one-on-one, so he's always open to receive that phone call, if you're feeling like you need something extra or something's coming in, like make sure you're giving him those updates.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, Janet, I would just say as well as like, it may just have been that you didn't fully surrender the first time, or you just haven't kept up with your divine focus. And so
I know she had a huge transformation with Dawn here when she came, so she definitely got the full of it. But
so it's probably just a divine focus, and yeah, I mean, just got to get back in, and then you'll be good to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the longer the better on that divine focus, that's for sure. Especially when things come intense, So Dawn tells you the 3 times a day, right when you go to sleep, right when you wake up, sometime in the middle of the day, for a minimum 10 minutes. But that's also a minimum, the 3 times. Like if something you're going through is intense, whatever it is, then if you're getting triggered, then that's the first place you want to go is that divine focus, and just recall, that transformation that you had on the beach here in the Philippines with Don. Recall that moment you were with him, and that will bring you right back in just a couple minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Gilbert, do you have something else to share? Your hand went down, but
yeah, I just felt. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I just felt bad because a lot of people haven't felt that feeling, and I just wanted to share a few of mine when I go into divinity, so you guys can have sort of several examples of all the different places I go to. One was when I was, I believe, 11, 12 years old. I went to Rio Doso, and just the feeling of exploring with my 2 brothers and being like, let's go catch some fish. Like, I just remember like just feeling so lighthearted and just so, it was so magical, because when we went by the stream, there was 3 other kids, but they were like more Caucasian. And it was weird because they were standing right in front of us, and then they were the exact same age. And I'm just like, this is weird. Like, this is strange. And then they're like, after they told us the age, I'm like, we're the same age. This is weird. And then all of a sudden we heard some rustling in the grass. And one of them said, be careful, it could be a snake, and throws a twig. And that twig out of that brush jumps out a baby blue jay and falls in the middle of the stream, which was really wide. And we didn't want to get wet because that was the first thing my mom said, you guys better not get wet. So we're like, man, I don't want to get whooped. So we just heard the poor baby blue jay just constantly like crying, and you hear the other kids going, put it out of its misery, it's hurting my ears. And so they all start throwing rocks at it. I kid you not, guys. I literally, the river's to the right, the stream was to the right of me, and I closed my eyes and I turned to the left, and I said, please God, please put it out of its misery. And I just chucked the rock, and then all of a sudden I heard, ooh. And I was like, oh, they put it out of its misery. And they all came running to me. And I was just like, what do you mean I hit it? My eyes were closed. And I wasn't even looking in the right direction. And it was a moving stream. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. So on the trail back to the house, I heard another baby bird crying. And I was like, for the love of God, really? Are you kidding me? I was like, no, I'm not killing two in one day. You got to be kidding me. So when we got, it was like the only trail back to the cabin. And then I saw a little baby robin, right? And then I kid you not, guys, I don't know what was showing me, but I remember seeing Discovery Channel, and somebody was trying to speak to me and talk to me and communicate with me, and showed me the video of this one guy that grabs the baby bird and chucks it up in the air. And I'm just like, yeah, no, you want me to kill two birds? Is that what you want me to do today? I was like, nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. And he's like, trust me. And then I was like, as soon as he said trust me, I kid you not, the biggest like shadow like flew over me. I thought it was a pterodactyl, but it was the biggest, buffest robin I've ever seen in my life. I kid you not. I was like, that shit can't be real. Like, it really cannot be real. Like, that's some magical, mythical creature. What the hell is that? And I kid you not, it just kept following us back to the cabin. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe he really wants me to throw it up. You know what I mean? And I kid you not, I was like, all right, dear God, for the love of God, please don't let this bird die, please. And I like literally just went. And with all the faith in my life, in my heart, and my soul, I just chucked it up in the air. And I kid you not, that big buff robin just swooped down and caught it so gracefully and just flew off. And I was just like, what the shit was that? What just happened? Like, what? I was like, did you see that? Like, telling my brothers see it. So if they ever come live or whatever, you got to call me out on that. But they saw that shit too. And it was the most intensely magical day of my life. Like, so that's one of them. I'm a hardcore lucid dreamer. I can remember all my dreams in extreme detail. And some days I astral project instead. So this one place I like to go to, when I was a little kid, I loved the grass that my mom had in her backyard, okay? And she had a weeping willow in the middle of the backyard. And so I would just go, and I was like maybe 7 or 8, and I was just like touching how the weeping willows just dangle, right? So I was just like running around and doing circles, bro, around the freaking willow. So that's another memory that I had where I just felt free as a bird. And then I didn't even realize, but with all that energy, I created a portal. So I had the ability to like astral project to a portal where my weeping willow was. And then from there, I can like internationally like project into other cosmoses. And this one that I went to, it was like green, purple, pink, and blue. It looked like that. So I would like show up like Superman. So like I would see it in a distance, the planet from a distance, and I'm like, oh, I'm finally home. And then I would like I kid you not, like Superman, like punch through like the atmosphere, just like nothing affecting me. I just went straight through. And as soon as it opened up, I just saw like a bunch of floating islands. And there was like these massive trees. You can just see the trees coming out from the water. Like it was like a water world, but a bunch of like massive trees. And then you can see the trees were barely like creating land and stuff. And then on one of them, like I knew exactly where to go. There was like a waterfall off to the side. And I would just go. And then sometimes my ego was trying to doubt me in the astral plane. And it's like, what are you doing? You're going to get yourself killed. Like, nah, bro, I'm indestructible. Like, what are you talking about? Those weak thoughts out of here. And I went right through. I thought I was going to smash into the island. but there was an actual a cave opening. So as soon as I went through, there was a cave, and as soon as I went into that cave, I started walking up, and there was like a specific area where I can walk to, and there was like a little stream, and behind me, a little water goes behind me, and it flows around me, but there's like a spot right there where I can meditate. And right in front of me, there is a pond where there's a gold koi fish and oh my God, hold on one second, my phone's about to die. Hold on, it's like 2%. Sorry, let me finish this real quick. So like the koi thing is right in front of me with a goldfish and a silverfish, and so that's where I go and I tap and tune in. So that's, I'm just giving you a few little references because people for some reason can't seem to find that amazing feeling we have, and it's in every single one of us. And I just wanted to highlight it because I'm like, wow, really? Because I I just want to share so people have more of kind of examples of how to tap and tune in to yourselves.
Awesome,
That's all I
Gilbert.
got. Thank you.
Yeah, we feel you, man. We feel you for
Yes.
sure. And as Tiffany just said, she may be overthinking the light feeling because it's more common than we may give it credit for. That was awesome. Eric says my ego tried several times to run off with Don. Yeah, it'll do that. I have some intense ones to share for sure.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get sacrificed on Divinity Mountain, so
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was
ya.
just a week ago. I was like, yeah, you came to me and said that. I was like, yeah, well, you are getting sacrificed. The
There you
ego.
We're excited for you guys to see the video we're gonna create February 7th.
Yeah, that will be fun.
Oh man.
I want the Gilbert Divinity book when it comes out. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly, Brent. Yeah, Gilbert gets it. That's awesome. Okay, well,
But yeah, Tiffany, that exactly is the feeling. It's, for me, when I first did the session, it was me standing over a waterfall in Hawaii, and it was like absolute bliss. But now my reference point has kind of shifted a little bit. It's more about, now it's really in the car after that 2-hour massage where it just hit like at this crazy level. But it's just a feeling. It's a natural feeling. You'll know it whenever you tap in. So if that's not what it is, then like we talked about earlier, then there's probably that surrender piece that's missing, and I would go through the session again. But yeah, so anyone who signs up today gets to February 7th for free. That is correct. It's only going to be exclusive to people in the community, our partners in the community. So if there's anyone that's on the fence, go back to the person that brought you in and get signed up. The portal, the new membership is going to be, it's already done actually. So we just got to get hooked up to the website. So we're super excited for that to roll out. Obviously the Divinity, that is the main thing. And literally, like I posted my daily updates today. I think I told you, but like such a powerful session last night. And then I woke up this morning and my corporate leasing company actually did 3 times the revenue today. It's not even 24 hours. And the thing about that is I didn't do anything different. I literally just woke up. So we're excited for you guys to tap in. We have the best financial products. We have the best affiliate plan. And we're, all those people that were like kind of worried about the money, the couple $100 that they're going to get paid from the Pioneer Fund. Honestly, like it's sad to witness because they're missing on their divinity, right? Number one. And then number two, there's gonna be, not that it really matters because it's just a title, but there's gonna be so many people that are gonna hit, these crazy numbers when it comes to the money. So we're excited for you guys to really step in fully, to embrace this with open arms, open heart, because that's what it takes, right? It's like you got to open your heart up to this. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of amazing testimonials, just like Gilbert's. I'm still kind of shook, to be honest, Gilbert. I thought you went through the 3 videos, bro. Like, what the heck?
Crazy.
Yeah, like,
Hey, my bad, bro. My bad. Hey, can I share one last little thing after I meditate? Okay, do you mind? So one
go
last
ahead,
thing.
Yeshua.
So after I'd meditate, there was a bunch of I kid you not, I would get out and then I would just start flying all around like all the islands, and then all of a sudden I would fly into the water, and they had like whale like creatures on that planet. But I kid you not, I literally felt, I can feel like the texture of the skin of the whale as I'm like swimming through them, and then I would fly out, and then the actual whales would fly out of the water too with me and start following me. I'm like, what the? I was like, I feel like the person who did the movie Fantasia might have traveled to that same place. I don't know. That's just a theory of mine, but I'm just. Oh, you do have it. It's in you. It's in all of you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I got. But I'm telling you, that feeling of just floating with them and just like and playing with them and just like flying out of the water with them, just that feeling. That's what we're chasing. You know what I mean?
Bro,
I
there's
hope
no
that helps,
ayahuasca
y'all.
to give you that kind of feeling.
No.
Awesome.
So Gilbert, I'm curious because you were chasing that feeling with the weed for 19 years. So what was the trigger for you watching whatever you watched in our stream, or like what was that moment for you that just boom, locked it in?
Well, for me, it was your breakthrough, personally, because you remind me so much of me. And I was like, you mean people like me can change? So you standing in your own light and divinity helped me break through into my divinity, and I can't thank you more than enough. But of course, the process, the divinity process, the 3 times a day minimum, the ammunition for the ego. That's all I got, and that's all I was, and that's it works. It works so good.
Attaboy. Man, I can't wait to have you here for my birthday. That's gonna be a gift for everyone.
Woo-woo!
Yeah, man.
Oh, I love it, bro. I'm so glad that I think, how did we meet, bro? You were dating Ileana at the time, right? And then we were on a call,
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah. And then I just started adding a bunch of friends, and I saw you on that list, and I was like, hey, this guy looks kind of conscious, very conscious. So I get gravitated to people who have like really good thoughts, and instead of like a bunch of just unhealthy habits and stuff like that. Like if somebody can help elevate me in some kind of way, I kind of follow it. So like with any music too, if it has a lot of truth in it, I listen to it no matter what genre. So I just follow the truth wherever it goes, just like Toucan Sam, right? Follow your nose and shit. But yeah, follow your divinity wherever it goes.
That's right.
I love it. Yeah, it's funny because like as conscious as I was still definitely very unconscious.
Yeah, no, tell me about it, bro. No, I feel you. I feel you. Literally, I feel you from here.
Yeah, I feel you too, bro. All right, get over here, bro.
I'm trying. You guys gotta wait. All right, be patient. I'm just kidding. Oh, looking forward to it too, guys. I really enjoyed this Zoom call with y'all. Thank you for letting me share once again. It's a pleasure, a plum-pleasing pleasure, like Les Brown once said.
I love it, bro. I love you, man. Thank you for being you. Yeah, it's worth it. All of this is worth it for us if we can. That's crazy, it's like and it goes back to whenever one person is standing in their light, we do affect other people, whether we consciously know it or not. And so that's just a testimony of what we've been saying, right? One person at a 700, let's not even talk about 1,000, right? Like at 700 can shift, what was it, like 75 million people? 70 million people. So this is the work right here. And all of you that are on here, you are shifting and helping so many people. There's no other company that's actually impacting the world like we are. And so we're super grateful to not have you just as, business partners. You're partners with us. You are literally partners in this, and we value you. And so thank you for being on this mission with us. If you want the other side of the money and stuff like that and getting onboarded, Will's gonna help you.
Yeah, sounds like Josh is doing pretty good right now.
Oh yeah,
now that he's in his divinity.
Yeah, right. We were like, how's that gonna work? He's not gonna be his intellect anymore, but
That's perfect.
but yeah, if you Will, can you drop that again? Because there's been a bunch of comments. If you can drop the onboarding call so that people can join. Oh, and one last thing, by the way, Richard, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, buddy.
Don't do that.
But
he's not watching. Just message him private.
This is for everyone. Okay, look, regardless, if you're a part of this community and you don't do the divinity process, you cannot get access to the Forex fund nor the crypto fund, right? Like those are the extras, right? The Forex fund, the crypto fund. If you're not about the divinity, then I'm sorry, but your $1,041 gets returned. Like it's just what it is. I'm sorry, but because we just need people that are aligned with the mission, which is divinity first. Like Gilbert just said, money is cute, but divinity is the golden ticket. So yeah, you just got to be about the mission. That's what we want. We want partners that actually see that first, and then then we got the financial vehicle. So Kim dropped the link. We will be shutting down the Facebook page. We just have to delete everyone first because Facebook just changed everything. So as soon as all the members are gone, we're going to shut down that group. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow at what time is it?
10 a.m. Eastern, I think.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, guys, we love you. All the love, infinite love. Thank you all.
Yeah, amazing wild journey that we're on. So thank yourselves to all of you for having the courage and open-mindedness, willingness to be with us. We know that takes a lot, and not everyone's on that journey with us. That's okay, because we only need a few. We'll impact the whole world.
I think we'll manage.
It'll be all right.
Be all right. So you're gonna have to make a Facebook because there's no other platform that we're gonna use. Oh, well, actually, you know what? We will be having a community in like it's gonna be off social media, so we'll invite you to that. But we'll give you more updates here in a little bit. It's just we need to get it all set up and whatnot. So we got solutions. Don't worry, Wilhelm. But I would still get Facebook for the meantime.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
See ya.